Hello students, in the last lecture we discussed about the last topics of prokaryote cell, that is prokaryotic cell, that is ribosomes and inclusion bodies. Now in last lecture we also briefly discussed about how the eukaryotic cells are. Eukaryotic cells are of many different types. The major two cells are plant cell and animal cell, but they are different than each other. In what sense? The plant cells has cell wall, plastids and vacuoles, which are not seen in animal cells, and in turn animal cells have structures called as centrioles, which are almost absent in all the plant cells. Very few cells have this centriole structure. So today we are going to start an organelle, one of the most important organelle of eukaryotic cell, that is called as cell membrane. The detailed structure of cell membrane started in 1950s after the advent of, or after the invention of electron microscope. So until then people were not knowing what are the exact structures, that is the ultrastructure of cell membrane. But before that the chemical analysis of this cell membrane was carried out, which means that what are the compounds that are present in the structure of cell membrane, that was done by chemical analysis. એટલે કે એ શું કરે કે સેલ મેમ્બ્રેનનું જે મટીરિયલ છે તેને એક્સ્ટ્રેક્ટ કરે અને એમાં ચેક કરે કે કયા કયા કેમિકલ કમ્પાઉન્ડ એની અંદર હોઈ શકે. So it was found out that the major compounds that were found in cell membrane were proteins and lipids. So the major compounds that were found in cell membrane structure after the chemical analysis were proteins and lipids. And after the advent of this electron microscope, we got the further enlightenment in the structure of cell membrane. These lipids which are present in the cell membrane are mainly of phospholipid kind. As the name implies, phospholipid, that means that there is a presence of phosphorus in these lipid molecules. Actually they have this in a bilayer structure. આમાં પણ નામ પરથી તમને ખબર પડી શકે કે bilayer, that means કે there are two layers of this phospholipid. They have hydrophobic and hydrophilic end, polar and hydrophobic end, we can also say that. હવે હું અહીંયા તમને ડ્રો કરીને બતાવું કે કઈ રીતે એનું એક બાયલેયર હોય છે. So આ એક આખું લેયર છે ફોસ્ફોલિપિડનું. This is another layer of phospholipid. As I said, this is the polar and all hydrophilic end. This is hydrophobic end. Hydrophobic means that repels the water, or they do not like the water, water hating or repelling end, that is, this is a kind of tail of phospholipid. So this is how they make the two layers around it. Now if we talk about the proteins that are present in cell membrane, apart from proteins there is also some amount of cholesterol that is found in cell membrane structure. Now if we talk about the proteins, 40% to 60%, 40% to 60% of all content of cell membrane can be proteins. So obviously it is very important compound in terms of cell membrane structure. Now the proteins can be either fully embedded inside the cell membrane, or some of the proteins are on the outer side that is on the surface of the cell membrane. So here you can see the different structures of the proteins that are present in the cell membrane. These are called as peripheral proteins. These are called as embedded, which are exactly inside the structure. The cholesterols can be found like this. So now, by studying under electron microscope, two scientists named Singer and Nicholson in 1972 found out the exact structure, or we can say ultrastructure, and one of the main characters of this particular cell membrane, that is, it is fluidic in nature. હવે આપણને એમ પ્રશ્ન થાય કે કોઈક મેમ્બ્રેન છે તે ફ્લુઇડિક કેવી રીતે હોઈ શકે? એ તો એક મેમ્બ્રેન છે, બરાબર? બટ ધીસ ઇઝ ધી importance of this cell membrane, that it is fluidic in nature. That means that some of the components in here can move inside. હવે આપણને એમ થાય કે એવું કેવી રીતે પોસિબલ છે? How can that component can move? હવે હું તમને એક બહુ સિમ્પલ એક્ઝામ્પલ પરથી આખી વસ્તુ એક્સપ્લેન કરું. હવે આ જે સ્ટ્રક્ચર છે ફોસ્ફોલિપિડના જે બાય લેયર છે, બરાબર, તે ઇમેજિન કરો કે ધીઝ આર લાઈક બલૂન્સ અને એની નીચેના સ્ટ્રિંગ્સ છે, બરાબર. આપણે તમે વોટ્સએપને એવું યુઝ કરતા હોય તેમાં ઇમોજીમાં હેપી બર્થડે હાથે તમે એ ઇમોજી મોકલી શકો કે જેમાં એ બલૂન હશે ને એની એક સ્ટ્રિંગ હશે. ધીઝ આર સ્ટ્રિંગ સ્ટ્રક્ચર. હવે ઇમેજિન કરો કે એક આખો રૂમ છે, આ જ રૂમ છે, ચાલો કે આ જ રૂમમાં આખો રૂમ આવા બલૂન્સથી ભરાયેલો છે, બરાબર. અને આઈ એમ ધી ઇન્ટિગ્રલ પ્રોટીન અથવા પેરિફેરલ પ્રોટીન, આમાંથી કોઈ પણ હું પ્રોટીન છું. તો હવે મારે અહીંયાથી એ રૂમના એન્ડ સુધી જવું હોય તો આ ફુગ્ગાની વચ્ચેથી હું જઈ શકીશ. કેમ? કારણ કે ફુગ્ગા એ રિજિડ સ્ટ્રક્ચર નથી. એની વચ્ચેથી હું જાઉં તો ફુગ્ગા આમ ખસી જશે અને પાછળથી આવી જશે, બરાબર. તો આ રીતે જે આમાં પ્રોટીન્સ છે તે પ્રોટીન્સ પર મૂવ થઈ શકે. So can you imagine what I am trying to say? The room is full of the balloons with a string attached to it. Now if I want to move from one place to another place between these balloons, I can move because the balloons can readjust themselves. So in the same phenomena, this fluid mosaic structure works because the protein sometimes needs to travel inside or move inside the cell membrane to carry out some biochemical reactions or some chemical functions related to cells. And this quality is also important in terms of these few processes. One is cell growth. So whenever the cell grows, it needs to increase its size. So obviously if this cell membrane is a rigid structure, the cell growth cannot happen. So it is fluidic in nature. Intercellular junctions. In upcoming years and even in maybe 11 in some of the chapters, you will find that two different cells have junctions. They communicate with each other via such junctions. So they are required, and this is because of this fluidic nature of this cell membrane. Then for the secretion, there are many of the glands in our body, બરાબર. ઘણી બધી glands આપણી બોડીમાં છે. The function of those glands is to secrete something. They secrete some hormones. Secrete એટલે સેલની અંદરથી રિલીઝ થવું, તો એટલે that means કે સેલની બહાર આવે છે. At that time such fluidic nature helps. Another thing is endocytosis. You must remember how amoeba grabs its food. Yes, this is the same kind of phenomena, endocytosis. And last is cell division. Means when the cell divides and they are turned one cell into two cells of similar kind, this membrane needs to readjust itself. That's why this model is called as fluid mosaic model, which was given by Singer and Nicholson. So moving further, if you study this diagram properly, you can get the idea that what was I am trying to say in terms of fluidic nature. You must remember that all the diagrams that come or you encounter in this particular chapter or theories, you need to learn those diagrams. They are very important, and if you draw the diagram in the exam paper, it will give you good marks. So now let's move towards the function of cell membrane. One of the main function of the cell membrane is to facilitate the communication between two cells or from the inside of the cell to environment, and for that, or we can also call that as transport. Sorry. That is transportation of material from inside the cell to outside the cell. Now there are different ways of transport. One is passive transport and the second is active transport. See, from the name we can say that in passive transport, the energy is not required. We don't use any kind of energy during the transportation of some material from inside to outside or from outside to inside the cell. It happens because of the process called as diffusion. For example, in case of O2 and CO2. બરાબર, CO2 અને O2 ની વાત કરીએ તો because of the concentration gradient, the difference between the concentration from inside and outside the cell, એ જે movement હશે CO2 અને O2 ની તે carry out થશે, that is from higher concentration to lower concentration it will move. બરાબર, એ આપણે already આગળ જોઈ ગયા છે. In same way, water will move from inside the cell to outside the cell or from outside to inside in the same phenomena, and it is called as osmosis. So it doesn't require any kind of energy. So what in case of active? Now if this doesn't burn any energy, obviously this will take some energy. So there are some compounds which are very important in some biochemical reactions in which we have to ignore the concentration gradient phenomena, and though that is in higher number inside the cell, we still want those compounds in higher number, so we actually burn the energy, we actually use the energy, the cell uses the energy and transport such particular compounds inside the cell using such proteins, embedded protein or integral proteins. So it is one of the functions of the proteins that are inside the structure of the cell membrane. Okay, so it explains the structure and the function of cell membrane. You need to properly study this mechanism, that is the whole structure and also the function of the cell membrane, as it is one of the most important topic of this chapter. Barabar? If you have any doubt regarding the structure and the function, you can call me or WhatsApp me on my number and solve your doubts. Thank you.